Hey y'all, I'm Yvonne Williams with Back to Earth Creations, and in this video I want to show y'all how to set rivets. Rivets are probably my go-to for securing pieces of leather together. So I'm going to get the camera turned around and then we'll get started. So in this project I am making a deer antler headdress. We'll talk more about that later, but regardless of what you're using the rivets for, the techniques are the same. And you can see here, there are two parts to the rivets, and you can mix and match them. These are the quick rivets from Tandy Leather. There'll be links for all the tools and materials down below, by the way. But sometimes I end up using like the short cap, the short stem parts, the rivet and the cap, with different caps, because these ones came with like a smaller one and I wanted a bigger cap. So you can mix and match them. You just want to make sure, that the little pieces, fit together like that. And even though that snapped together, like you could audibly hear it, this is not secured because you can still pull them back apart. Depending on the kind of leather you're using, you could punch a quite small hole. Like this is an oil tanned leather, and you can see I'm able to kind of force the rivet up through there. Whereas for the vegetable tanned leathers, you'd want to use a slightly larger punch. And I kind of gauge the minimum size that I'll need by holding the rivet up to a hole punch and being like, this one will be really snug. I would probably go a size up from this one. And I've used this so much that the size is rubbed off. It looks like it might have been 3/32, but the next size up is 5/64. And no, that's the next size down. I just got everything all kinds of mixed up in my rack. Yeah, next size up, also rubbed off. Looks like 1/8 of an inch. That's usually what I use whenever I'm punching holes for rivets on vegetable tanned. Like if it's a leather that I really want the rivet to slide easily into. So you'll start by placing your rivets through the leather. Plan ahead about which side you want the outside to be, because with these quick rivets you put the cap on the more decorative side. And pretend like there's not an antler attached to it, but we would just take this, I'm going to zoom in for you, and you can just slide your next piece of leather down over the rivet. And I'm going to do both sides of this. You can see it's just placed like that. You want to make sure that this is a pretty good amount to be coming out of the end. These are the small rapid rivets. They might be the extra small, I'm not certain. But they go all the way up to like quite large. And that way you could layer very thick pieces of leather together or multiple thin pieces and then rivet them all. But you just want to make sure that you don't have a whole lot of rivet stem left over, because whenever you're hammering, it'll like kind of go and like not set properly. I know that sound effect was like super descriptive, but like the stem, instead of staying nice and straight, whenever you're hammering, it will actually like start to like warp and bend out of the way, and it won't get a nice good cap going. Because what we're doing is we put the cap on here, and then we're going to use a tool called a rivet setter, and you can see it has this very nice concave end as well as a flat end. This is the end I hammer on. This is the end I put over the cap. That way it lets the cap stay convex. And whenever we're hammering, the little stem of the rivet is going to start mushrooming out a little bit, because see how it's got that hole in the end, and that lets the metal kind of splay open, and then it holds itself into the cap. At least that's my understanding of how it happens. So let me get this up and out of the way. So I'm going to place my rivet setter quite securely over the top of the rivet and just whack it. And you can see that's nice and set. So I'm going to put another cap on this side so you can see the difference in depth. That one's about that far apart. This one's quite snug together. It really compacted, and it's really going to hold it on there. I really enjoy using rivets for whenever I want a nice, quick closure and I don't want to have to worry about a bunch of stitching. I love it for armor purposes because it gives it a nice, like, studded, well, again, cosplay armor purposes, because it gives it a really nice studded look. There's a huge, huge difference between cosplay armor and actual armor. And so that's the basic gist of it. Punch 2 holes that line up in the right spot, and then place the rivet stem through, then cap on, and then hammer it a bunch. Um, Usually 3 or 4 good whacks is plenty. If you're not getting it that much, like, you don't want to just kind of like tap it. You want to, really hammer it, So yeah, that's Setting Rivets. Hey y'all, I hope this video was helpful to you. If you have any questions, comments, or ideas, please leave them down below. If you make something following along with my tutorials or just want to share what you're up to, you can find me on Facebook and Instagram. Also links down below. And then most of all, we have a Patreon campaign going, and that's if you enjoy our free tutorials and would like to support the creation of more of them, as well as participate in our fairy house giveaways, product placement, as well as be able to download digital content like files and things, so of all of our templates, so you can make your own. All of that, those are perks for our Patreon. Sorry, I got distracted and don't remember what I'm talking about. Um, but yeah, pledges start at just $1 a month, and those proceeds go towards the daily production of free video tutorials, as well as our artisan education efforts whenever we're on the road going to conventions and stuff, where we teach free hands-on workshops for all the attendees. So we really appreciate everything that y'all been doing for us. All of your liking and sharing and subscribing, hint, hint. But no, I really do hope you guys enjoy my videos, and I'll see y'all next time. So happy crafting. Bye.